I love that jam. Good evening, my brothers and sisters. I want to thank you for coming out tonight. Good evening, my brothers and sisters. I want to let you know it's going to be all right because we choose awesome and we refuse to waste anyone's heartbeats. You beautiful cucumbers, welcome to TCB Studios. Welcome to Burn It Down. We'd like to thank our sponsor, A&F Agriculture. We'd like to give a shout out to my brother, Kelly Hester, and Kelly's Death Pickles. Another shout out to Three on the Ones and Twos. Shout out to my sister behind the scenes, killing it in the driver's seat, Renée Yaworsky. I want to thank my guest last week, Ben Davidow. I've been thinking about our conversation all week, and you just left me with these beautiful, wonderful snippets for me to continue to think about and dwell and just make myself a better man. Super excited. Next week, we have our brother, the extremely talented Rory Penland, on the show. We want to wish him a happy birthday. And last but not least, I want to congratulate our sisters on CCTV, Jamie Bennett and Diane Marie Call, for having a wonderful episode of The Warrior Within last night. I truly enjoyed it, and I watched it again today. Thank you so much. So insightful, so powerful. But now we are going to go for a ride. We're going to burn it down. This man, alongside his partner in rhyme, King Buffalo, Yanni DeFranco, Jules the Jewel, Julio Morales. This man and Julio are doing the Lord's work every week with tacos on Tuesdays and getting wasted on Fridays. Please help me give this man a wonderful, warm round of applause. The beautiful Mr. Gregory L Gannon. Sugar, 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 sugar.
What? What's up?
How you doing, my man? Good to see you.
Good to see you, my
Nice
friend.
to see you, man.
Cheers to you, my friend.
Mm.
Brought a little bit of whiskey so I could stay in character.
Whiskey on a Monday. Yes, we were talking backstage, myself and you and Renee. Again, the biggest shout out to Renee. And we're always talking and laughing about this, saying, man, the best show is actually the first 10 minutes in the green room backstage, us talking. So we're going to figure that out one day. Thank you so much for being on the show. We chatted a while back, but we chat every so often, and I truly do love and enjoy and treasure our conversations.
Yeah, me too. It's a real honor to be here, and you actually lifted me out of a bad space that I was in. I think a couple of Thursdays ago, you called me out of the blue. It's the first time we ever had a phone conversation.
Right.
It was 2 weeks ago, and I was feeling about blue as I could be, and you really like pumped sunshine up my ass, and I was like, afterwards, I was ready to fucking take on the world. I was like, yeah, fucking A Tom.
Man, that makes me feel so good. I didn't know, but I think I saw something. I saw something, or I felt something, and I had a feeling that things weren't right. And that's what we do. And that's what we should do, is want to see our friends happy, succeed, certainly never down. And when they're down, we want to lift them up. And so I'm glad I could do that for you. And you've done it for me too. And I'm not kidding around when I say you and Julio. Again, shout out Mr. Morales. He is a beast. I mean, the guy was killing it. I woke up at 3 a.m. for work this morning, and he was finishing like a 4-hour set last night. This morning.
7.5.
Yes, and
He
I'm
played
like,
for 7.5 hours.
I'm like, what? I mean, I worry about him because he's so awesome and so talented, so beautiful. But I also think that's what I want to get into with you. And trust me, everyone watching, thank you everyone for tuning in tonight, because we have some surprises for you. But sometimes, so I thank you and Julio for doing what you do. And I worry about him, and I've become really close to him. I know you're close to him as well. But then I realized, wait a minute, these things that he's doing for other people, which is wonderful, that gives him joy, and he needs to do it himself. So
Right.
this therapy and this music and this medicine that our friend Ro Evans talks about, and we love and appreciate that. It's like, yes, so you're doing this, and I appreciate it because I needed it. Me calling you a few weeks ago, I'm so glad I helped you. So he gets this joy out of doing this for people, and he might need it. He might just be like, listen, I've had a rough week. I just need to jam for 6 hours.
Yeah.
And so whatever works, whatever we have to do to make us stay sane in this life, and beat it and win and succeed on our own terms, and find like a balance of, okay, I'm close to, I'll settle for I'm close to happy.
Yeah, I mean, Julio has been the man, because the last couple of weeks myself, I've been a little bit down and like kind of not really me, and haven't really been around the internet that much or anything like that. And as far as like the Drunkles are concerned, he's completely picked up the slack. He's
Oh
doing
my goodness.
he did all the booking for like the month, for the next couple of weeks. And
Yeah.
we've done that for each other over the last year. I mean, actually, March will be a year of the Drunkles, so that's going to be our anniversary.
Right. He's
And
all
like,
he's all heart. He's all heart,
oh,
that beautiful
absolutely,
man.
do anything
Well,
for anyone.
he's also saved us the past few weeks on the BLT show, So shout out again. Thank you so much, Julio. I know he's watching, because we're all amigos, the three of
Yeah,
us,
yeah.
and we're proud of each other for the things we do. And that's kind of what I want to get into, because this Tuesday show, you know, uh, you know, Taco Tuesday. It's a special Drunkle show. What I love about the Friday show is, I'm an old man here, guys.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to stay young, But like, I grew up on loving through my grandparents, like vaudeville and the theater and comedy and the Johnny Carson show and variety shows and Mad TV and stuff. And it's like, you guys, I love that it's not called the Variety Hour. It's called Variety Hours. It's such a funny, awesome play on words, and it is several hours, and you have these great guests, and it's basically letting them get their talents out, which is very important.
Oh,
And
yeah.
also, you're providing this thing, this niche, this thing that these people, other people need too, because even though the world has opened up a bit, it hasn't opened up all over the country, and some people, maybe there aren't that many cool places to go see a show. And then even if that's not the case, even let's say, like, I'm in Atlanta and there's shows, it doesn't matter. I get to see someone, like Ruby Ray or someone else performing on the other side of the country, and it's the best thing ever.
Yeah, you get a chance to meet a bunch of new people, and that's amazing. And I think the weird part about the Drunkles on Fridays is we just kind of fell into it. It was like a joke at first, and then all of a sudden it started gaining momentum, and a
Oh
lot of
my
people,
goodness.
a lot of people started watching it, and it really actually became a thing. And me and Julio were like, "Well, shit, we need to, take this seriously now, I guess."
Right.
And we
Right.
did, and
Yeah.
we took it. We both did. Like, he was the one that came up with the name Drunkle Variety Hours and everything. And in
It's
the
such a
beginning,
great name, and he's so talented, and the two of you together. And like I said, and then from the folks to CCTV, like I mentioned, Jamie and Diane and Sandy D and Alana and MM. So much love for everyone for that they're doing, and that's what I love about all this, the magic. And then you got you guys doing this Drunkle show, and then I get to meet Keith Cutts and Emily Jane Roberts, who's amazing, and Ruby Ray, and it basically, we have formed, and this is what I've been trying to get out even from the beginning of the idea of the show, when I talked to Renee about this, and I love it. It's like, there's a music community, but then it's even bigger than that. And it's this like brotherhood and this sisterhood of people having each other's backs, this camaraderie. And it's a really, really great thing to present to people who don't know it, who've never watched your show before. And they're like, oh my goodness. It's a Saturday afternoon. They're like, oh yeah, last night for 4 hours, I had drinks and watched 5 different people perform, and it was amazing.
yeah, tune in and then tune out and just hang out and have a good time.
Right.
I
Tune
think that,
in and tune in, tune out, tune back in, or do laundry and iron your clothes for tomorrow, and then every once in a while you hear something new happening.
well, the cool thing about SDF, Socially Distant Fest, I mean, it kind of started as a thing because, people weren't allowed to play out in bars, but it actually evolved into this thing where, well, there's a need for this because there's a lot of people who are home, can't get out, or they only have like this small window of time that they can actually stream in. So
Right.
let me put the kids to bed and then I can quickly jump on for a little while.
Yeah.
And for those folks, it's amazing that they can actually just come on and get put their heart out and and not have to drive 50 miles, unload the gear,
right.
And all that. It's a great outlet.
Yeah, and the shout out to Jake and everyone there, because I mean, and that's what the other thing I was trying to get at is it's like we all are doing. I love that term, the Lord's work. But you really are, because you're there for people, and we don't realize the good that we're doing for other people sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's not even just the people performing, it's the people talking and communicating and saying hello to each other while they're watching the performance. They're all looking after each other. I mean, I went to the Halloween parade here in Atlanta, and it was the first one outside in like a few years. And someone came up to me and said, "Hey, I love what you do. I love your live streams. I love the stuff you do on KMH. I really appreciate what you're doing." And it meant the world. And I had just ordered a drink. We were like outside of this bar. And she goes, "Oh, let me get that." And she bought that drink. And then I made a joke. I was like, "If I would have known that, I would have bought the vodka with lobster." Yeah. But she didn't get it. She didn't laugh at it.
Oh no!
I would have ordered the steak. But the thing is like that was so nice of her to say. Yeah. And I say it to you often. I constantly try to remind all of our friends this. I mean, Andy and Kim, when they came up with their idea for KMH, and what Jake's doing with SDF is huge, and what John Phipps and Renee started doing after meeting Dennis Tardam with CCTV, and then all of these beautiful people connecting because there was already something there. They had the right hunger for certain things, and they were all just good people.
Yeah. And it's good when that happens, because a lot of times you'll get involved in a situation where you get a poison apple and, and then everything just starts to fall apart.
Right.
But, and like in order for something to succeed, it's kind of like what you were saying. Like, I love your Choose Awesome slogan because you kind of, when you're trying to do something good, you got to chisel away the things that are holding you back from doing that good thing. Not always an easy thing because people are involved,
It's really not, because of that, everyone assumes that every day is I'm walking through red lights and walking through life with rose-colored glasses on. And no, I'm an artist who's battled severe depression since I'm 12 years old. But I do try to though. Right, and that's why we've all met each other and we're attracted to each other and loved each other. But I'm getting better at it, and I decide to throw away the stuff that's negative or toxic, or not dwell on that, because what's the use of that? And then I do choose the pretty stuff, the awesome stuff, the Gregory L Gannons. That's why I reached out to you, because you are appreciated. I'm a huge fan of yours, and I wanted to I don't know. As a matter of fact, when I called you, we were on Facebook Messenger, and then at one point, one of us accidentally hit video. I think I just got out of the shower or something. Next thing you know, we're literally seeing each other's faces, and that was awesome.
That was a great conversation. It was a great conversation. It was something that happened, and that it wasn't an accident. I turned it on myself.
Okay.
But
you're like, is this Tom Cheshire real? I got to see this guy's face.
I don't know what's that, but it was just like, what? I'm glad that I was taken aback by it. I was like, oh man, Tom's calling me because I never had a conversation with you before. We've talked and texted before a bunch.
Text often, yes,
but we never actually had a real conversation, and that was a real conversation, and I needed it right then.
Oh my goodness!
It was
listen,
very serendipitous conversation for me.
I love that. I love that spontaneity meets serendipity. And now, the end of this conversation, I'm going to give you my phone number and my email, and I'm only a phone call away if you ever do need to talk more. I want to talk about Batman because I am a
Okay.
huge fan of Batman.
All
And
right.
I absolutely love when you perform wearing Batman shirts or anything Batman related.
All right.
And the reason why I love them is because one, it reminds me of all the good stuff that happened to me in my youth, that when I was a
Okay.
boy. And two is, at least the way I look at it is like, well, yeah, he's not a guy who he has no special powers. Yes, he has money, but he wants to do good with it, and he buys really cool tricks and toys to fight
Yeah.
evil. And I dream about that stuff all the time. I'm a huge fan. I love Batman, and I've wanted to ask you. I've been wanting to ask you forever now. Like, what made you love Batman so much? Because I mean, literally, I think about Batman every day. Every
Right.
day, something that I mean, I'm looking at the research of the next Batman movie, by the way, and we can talk about it offline. It looks amazing.
Well, the one thing was when I was, I guess I was pretty young, probably like 23, 24 or something like that, 90, 92, 93. And my friend said, here, check this comic book out. It was Frank Miller, The Dark Knight Returns.
I love that.
And he was 65 years old or something like that in that one. But every single time he had retired as Batman. And every
Right.
single time he walked down the street, he saw a crime and then he saw bats, and it
Oh
just
my
made it,
goodness, how did I
and,
never hear that?
and,
Yeah.
and it made him fucking crazy. Like it would, I love the fact that Batman is fucking damaged.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, that's the other
It makes
point
him more
too.
relatable.
Yeah, that's the other point too. I mean, and I think it's very good and healthy for us to admit these things. I
Yeah.
pretty much cry every day. Something happens. I mean, the other night it was so cold out, and I just started crying. I mentioned to my people that with me, I just started crying thinking about my heart breaks for anyone that's homeless tonight. I mean, it was that cold, and I couldn't stop, and but I think it's okay, and it's really healthy to do. And Batman's a damaged dude. He's just like me and you, Greg.
Yeah, no, exactly. And the funny thing is like when it comes to music and passion and all of that stuff, like that all comes. A lot of that stuff comes from a pretty dark place. A lot of times,
Without a doubt.
like, and we have the ability to make something beautiful out of something really fucking tragic.
Yes, I
And
love that.
that's a fucking gift because that not everybody actually has. I
Take
mean,
that gift. Yes.
and it's kind of selfish to keep that to yourself because by sharing your tragedy you actually inspire other people too as well. So
Right.
and I think that's like a something that just keeps on reoccurring in my mind is that, yeah, I've been
Oh
through a
my
bunch of shit,
goodness. Yeah.
but
I
I'm still here and I'm still going. And
right.
that
What can I do?
yeah.
I love the word. One of my favorite words, just in general, is the word solace, and it's because it sounds so pretty, but then it's like to find comfort in all this discomfort
Yep.
somehow gives me hope, and I love that about everything you're doing. It goes back to the Drunkles because I really think you guys are doing the Lord's work. You're probably never going to have an idea how many people you're affecting. But I'm here to tell you, I talk to a lot of people and they tell me, and well, I know that they watch it. And again, just thank you to you and Julio for doing what you do. And now you're celebrating how many shows or how many years now are you saying it is?
I mean, well, we've been doing this for March 17th is when we're going to celebrate our anniversary this
So
year.
the St. Patrick's Day would be 1 year, but you
Yeah.
actually did a few shows probably over a couple of months before then, but then it didn't become a regular thing.
Well, I mean, at first it was just me and Julio. You
Right.
know, I was always playing an SDF on Fridays around
Right.
5. So, for a while there. And then Julio, like he kind of like me and him started talking. Shit. People texted me during this shit. Anyway, hang on.
Listen, I'm in a meeting with T Chess right now, and Renée Yaworsky's in the driver's seat.
I even tried to tell this guy to not text me during the fucking game. A friend of mine's an Islander fan, and I'm an Islander fan. And
I'm an Islander fan.
Well, they're playing right now, and I told him, listen, I'm taping the game, so don't fucking text me during the game. And
That's right.
he just fucking texted me.
I was very sick last week, and instructions to everyone were like, "Do not call." And my phone rang more than ever. And I had my assistant say, "Tom is sick, literally puking, and can't talk right now." And the phone just kept ringing. Thanks a
Well,
lot,
I mean,
everyone. Well, thank you, everyone. But we're doing better. My voice is back. I'm feeling like 100. Feeling like $200. My dad. I used to tell my dad. I'd be like, my dad used to say to me, he goes, "Son, you look like $1,000,000 lire." And I go, "Thanks, Dad." He goes, "That's only $11."
well, that's the trick then. When you don't, when you want to talk to people, you just tell them, I don't really want to talk to anybody.
Right. And then they call. Yeah.
That's the secret.
So, well, happy anniversary. This is perfect.
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day.
And it's actually the same
that's the
weekend.
biggest. It's the biggest drinking day of the year.
Well, it's also, well, I mean, I chose it as the date, because I was like, listen, it's got to be around this time, and fuck it, let's do it on St. Patrick's Day. It's on a Friday. And it also happens to coincide with the 3-year anniversary of Socially Distant Fest.
Oh, awesome. Happy anniversary to them as well. So, yeah, so that is really, really awesome. And I know you're going to have something really cool planned. I'm playing that night, but I'll be checking in, and maybe even from where I'm at, I'll pop in and do a song and say, hey. But my question is because it really is so badass what you guys are doing, is where do you see it going? Because I really see the Drunkles Variety Hours, like that name, like going really far. Like if down the road, if you wanted to, once a year, you could turn it into a road show, and you play five cities and stuff, like with 4 or 5 artists doing Drunkles.
I mean, find me some sponsors so we can actually afford it. But the thing is that for me, I'm a simple person. As long as people keep on tuning in, we're going to keep on going.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Now, we've talked, and trying to think about, like, what city are you actually in right now?
Spring Lake, New Jersey, not far from Asbury Park.
So, see, we're going to hang out this summer. See, that's the thing, because we're so close, and we've never even met in person. I'll make it to Asbury this summer. We'll meet. We'll go to the Stone Pony. We'll go to the Pinball Museum on the boardwalk.
I know what you're talking about.
Have a couple of drinks, play some pinball. It'd be great.
Yep. Go to that. What's the hell is that name of that dive bar? Where I forget what. I can't remember the name of it. Wonder Bar.
Wow, I played Wonder Bar. It's with the clown on the side. Yeah, it's amazing. Listen, Jersey gets such a bad rep. I grew up in Queens, New York, and we've talked about this. And it's this funny thing. And it's, first of all, who do people in Queens think they are? But they made fun of Jersey, and I'm like, now I'm this adult who've been there. I've played there. I have family members there. I have great friends like you there. In New Jersey, it's just like anywhere else. There's beautiful parts to it, and there's parts to it that aren't so beautiful.
Well, I'm actually convinced that the only reason that New Yorkers talk bad about New Jersey is because they accidentally went through the Lincoln Tunnel, and then they got to pay the fucking toll to get back in.
Well, listen, I could get shot for this, okay? But I don't care. It's my own TV show, and I'll say it, and I stand by it. And like I said, I've lived in New York half my life. The pizza's better in New Jersey than in New York City.
Oh, yeah, maybe you might be right.
I've had some really, well, let's just say, I'm just saying that I've had some of the best slices I've ever had. Better than, in Venice, Italy, better than Little Italy in New York, just amazing, fantastic.
I'll say that you might be right about North Jersey, but I live down by the shore, and it's
not right.
Good down there.
Yeah, like so even like the areas that aren't as nice, like Newark or like Jersey City, which is close to the city, there's a couple of really cool old mom and pop like sub spots that have like meatball parm sandwiches, eggplant parmesan sandwiches, and slices of pizza that are just fantastic.
I met some friends from Texas who came up here, and we went to Comic-Con in New York a bunch of years back, and they were just like, they were all about the pizza. They were, we got to get pizza, and he kept on getting pizza, and he was just like, and I want this on the pizza, and I want that on the pizza, and I want this on the pizza, and they're like, what do you want? I was like, I want a slice of cheese.
Yeah, yes.
And I was like, and first off, I want a slice of cheese, and then I yelled at my friends from Texas, how the fuck do you know you got good pizza if you put all that shit on it?
That's right.
Put all that shit on it because you're from fucking Texas. But up here we
Right.
just do
Good
cheese
point.
slices and it's fucking good. You know?
Right. Well, yeah. To this day, even in Atlanta, I go to Fellini's and I love the guys at Fellini's, and I'll be like, "What can I get you?" I'll be like, "Let me get a regular slice." She's like, "What do you want?" I go, "Let me get a regular slice." She's like, "What do you want?" I go, "A regular slice is a slice of cheese." And I'll say, as a matter of fact, "Well done." And then I just put my own garlic and salt on it, and
I
then
can't
that
remember
is a perfect slice.
I can't remember the place I used to get pizza from when I was down in Atlanta. I wanted to say it was like Uncle Tony's or Uncle Tommy's or something
Hmm.
like that. But that was like pretty much the only good pizza I had when I was down there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, Atlanta's got
Mama
some.
Mushroom's not bad though. I like their shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, man, so I'm just trying to think about, we got to put this out there, manifest this into the world, and let people know we want to do some extra stuff with the Drunkles, like
Yeah,
maybe the Drunkles, doing a variety show, in a couple of different cities. We need someone to back us on this.
yeah, we need some sponsors. I mean, honestly, before that, my priority is to try to get my ass to King Buffalo so he can help me record some shit.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, that was the other thing I was going to ask you, because you're such a good player and you're such a good singer and you're such a good adapt at doing adaptations slash your own covers and versions. I mean, you must are you just this musical encyclopedia that knows 300 songs in your
No, no,
brain?
I cheat, man. I got the guitar tabs I read off of while I'm playing and shit, you know.
Mhm.
Honestly, like when I first started playing, it was my first set in SDF was April 21st, which is my birthday of 2020, which was like only about a month after they started the group.
Wow, yeah,
At that time, I knew probably about 13 songs.
right,
And so after that, before that, the only thing I was doing, it was like, I remember when the pandemic hit, I was just like, all right, well, I kept on going on the internet, and all I kept on seeing was governor this, governor that, and negative comment this, and negative comment that. And everybody was just so negative, and it was just so fucking heavy.
right.
And I was just like, man, I can't with this. You know,
No,
I can't keep on doing this. And I was like, well, I looked at my guitar and I hadn't touched it in a while. And I was, well, I could play and I could sing. And so I picked it up and I started off just playing a song. And then I asked friends and relatives, like, what do you guys want to hear me play? And they would give me a request. And then it would take me a couple of days, to get back into it, to learn the song. And then I'd be like, okay, here's your
right.
song. And then one of my other friends from Atlanta actually said, you should check out this group, Socially Distant Fest. And that's when I started streaming in there.
And it
And
all happens from
12,
there.
from 12 to 13 songs after that, I was just kind of on a mission to learn as much as I possibly could. And I
Yeah,
tried to
because
learn.
I swear I believe I've heard you do 80 or 90 songs, so over the
Yeah,
past
no,
year.
I don't like to be bored. So, and I don't like to play the same. I don't like playing the same set twice. Like if I play something on Tuesday, you're not going to hear that same set on Friday because I just don't
I
like
love
doing.
it.
I don't like doing that.
I absolutely love it, and I absolutely respect it. And that's the other really cool thing about all of us. We're so connected, yet we're so different of what we like or our approach. Me, I need to have something pretty close to what I'm going to do is like my set, and it's like, okay, I could veer a little bit here to the left or the right, but I need to know these things. But then it's completely different if I'm playing percussion or if I'm playing piano, and or if I'm just up front singing with a band who are extremely tight, and I know, and these guys that I've played with for years, I'm like, oh, I know we can do this. But it's a different game when it's just me on, this keyboard kind of thing. But also, the idea is, at least for me, is to overcome all of it, the fears, the anxiety, and just put on the show because we're all in this together. Just go ahead and do it.
Yeah. And people are very appreciative of it. It's amazing. It's amazing to me. I mean, and when I first started booking for the Drunkles, it was, I was going out, hey, would you like to play it this time? Hey, would you like to play it that time or anything like that? And then after like 3 months, not even 3 months, people were asking us, like, hey, can I be
Right.
on the? And I was like, whoa, people want to be on this thing. Like we were all really shocked because it was kind of like we just
Right.
kind of stumbled into this thing and now like people want to be a part of it. and it's so flattering and amazing. It really, really is.
Well, it is
Humbling and humbling.
humbling and something proud of. But the thing is you're putting out an awesome show consistently, and it's good product, and people are enjoying it, and then people are getting up their own chutzpah and their own nerve, and they're like, I want to be part of this. And that's the best thing ever. And the best thing ever really is when you get to showcase a new artist. Be like, this is our first time we got somebody that's never played on the Drunkles before. Fred,
Yeah, no.
shout out to Fred Bowman, my brother. I love that
Yeah,
guy.
no, that's amazing. I mean, Tristan, I mean, just to name a
Tristan,
couple.
yes. I mean, when Emily first came on, I was like,
It's
oh my
hard because I
goodness.
got a year's worth of people. Smokestack was one of our first.
Smokestack's amazing, yeah. And
we had Jake and Bethy. We had Jake and Bethy. We had Jake and then Bethy. Like, they both played together, and then Bethy started rolling with her thing, and she wanted to do her own set, and I was so impressed by that. And then Emily was with us for so long, and she was a fantastic performer every single time.
Fantastic, yeah.
And there's so many to count. Ruby was with us for so long, and she's done her great thing at 10 p.m. And things didn't work out with that, but that's okay. We're both. I believe that's an amicable situation.
Without a doubt.
Everyone's
beautiful, and they're going to reconnect.
Yeah.
And speaking of connecting, I gave her a shout out earlier, but I want to bring her on because let's just say not only is she a badass and very good at her job, she's awesome and beautiful. And I figured it'd be really, really cool. I love when the show changes, and we move with the times. And I figured we'd have a three-way conversation for a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, wiggle, 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 Renée Yaworsky.
Woo! I'm here. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me.
Up in here, up in here, up in here. Renée, listen, do you blush when I say all this awesome stuff about you?
Yes,
I hope you do.
I do. I get
well,
crazy.
she's got moxie. She's got
I got moxie. Where's the cigar?
I'm like, listen, kid. I'm like this. Listen, kid.
You gotta be a star because you got real moxie. You gotta keep it up.
I'm doing it's a cigar and a Sharpie commercial. Listen, kid, you're going places. You're going places.
I see big things for you, kid. It's like
I absolutely adore Renée Yaworsky. So much love and respect, but also, I talk about being an artist, but I'm certainly a professional as well, because I have to pay bills and take care of things and people, and also we have to work. We need food and stuff, And so that balance is such a weird thing, but I try to take pride now in everything else I do. That's an art project, whatever. And I try to be, all business in that, because the name of my company is TCB. It's the quicker you get things done, then you can have your fun. And I have to say, I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'll say it next week. Renée Yaworsky is probably the easiest person. I think I started working on my first job when I was 14 years old. I'm 52 years old. All the years of working, the easiest person I've ever worked with. Like, she gets things done.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. Thank you.
So easy to communicate with. Sometimes I say, "Can I get this?" And it's just quick. It's like, yeah, we'll make it happen.
All right, I'll throw in my little 2 cents where I've seen you doing interviews a lot in the past, and there'll be something that comes up, and you have this adaptability to you where no matter what's going on in the interview, you can go ahead and totally work and mold that thing into something positive or something constructive that'll work for everybody. And I've always appreciated, and I've always been incredibly impressed with how fucking smart you are. You are absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. People forget. I have a law degree. I studied at Oxford University.
Oh my goodness, I know.
I am. People forget that. I actually did not take my licensing exam in order to run and create the network. Dennis and I talked about that for a long time. It was a big decision to make, and I think it was the right decision because you can't do both. I wasn't going to be able to do, you got to really choose. But I'm glad that I chose it. And Greg, thank you for saying that because I am trained by the best. I want everyone to go check out Dennis Tardon. Just Google
Dennis Tardon.
Check him. He is the best of the best of the best. He's interviewed everybody for 45 years. He trained me. So by this point, I feel like if I'm not doing well, that that would be weird, right? Because I got
Right.
to actually shadow and train with him, and he trained the Orchid Times girls, who are some of the best in the business. Shout out Orchid Times. But
Shout out
everybody
Orchid
should
Times.
just, yeah, I mean, he's the reason why this all started. And we were broadcasting, Dennis and I were broadcasting live talk shows on SDF and KMH all the way back, 2021. We were
Right.
doing that. Rory Penland as well. We were beaming him into KMH for a while. So all these different platforms and networks were all together from the beginning. Jake had a lot of ideas in the beginning about things that we incorporated in. Of course, Kim Ware, BLT was the first. Lars Nagel got me on
Well,
BLT.
I was going to say, shout out to Lars Nagel. And I guess, man, I'm going to give myself shout out to me because through BLT, Lars introduced me to you, and I'm so glad that we brought you on. And then there's a wonderful
through BLT, I got Julio.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's all like a nice little
and really what I wanted
circle going on,
And really what I wanted to do is have all three of us on here is one to make my brother Rory, who'll be on our show next week, proud of me that we're going late tonight. But also it's just that there's so many things that are out of our control in this life, and it's like really enjoy and take in and smell and breathe the smell of the roses, all the good stuff. And so shout out to SDF, shout out to the Drunkles, shout out to Andy and Kim and KMH, shout out to Renee and Dennis and John with CCTV. Shout out to even Burn It Down Now, because all we're trying to do is celebrate the good stuff. Yeah. And that's what this is right here. There's a really great term that a lot of folks in the hip hop community have been using lately, and it's called flowers. And I love it. And I just want to give Renee her flowers because she is a
thank you. You're on the cutting edge, Tom. I didn't know that. I'm not cool enough to know that.
And by the way, I've heard it like
Bethy's in the audience.
I've heard it like 100 times in the past 2 weeks, and I absolutely love it. Like Pusha T's like, yeah, man, I was at this hotel with my with my family, and I bumped into Ice-T, and I just had to give Ice-T my flowers and give him props and his respect. And I was like, that's awesome.
Man.
Yeah.
I want to say this. I'm going to give you flowers, Tom. Tom was the very first Tardon Media / Cosmos guest we ever had, ever. Yeah. It was live. We brought it was Tardon Tonight, not quite, and then we did it into SDF, I believe. Bethy's in the audience. Hi, Bethy.
No, I remember.
And and then CJ Peters came on because we had some we didn't know what we were doing because we were building the ship as we launched to sea, as Dennis always says. And Tom was the very first. And I
love that as well. I love that as well because I agree with Greg. You are so intelligent, and your brain blows me away. But the other thing is you have no problem in admitting, like, oh, I didn't know what I was doing. And like everything that we've done, including this right here, it's this trial and error thing. And it's like, oh, no, I've never had a show before, but I'm a fan of stuff and I'm a nerd and I love watching things and taking notes. I'll try it. Let's try and do it.
Yeah, and like Greg doing Drunkles and all that is so cool.
Drunkles,
we all build off of one another. There's Jake and Bethy, and they have this SDF, and then here we go. Now we have Drunkles. You know what I mean? Or it's just it all builds on one another.
It's like we feeding off each other's energy. It's one of those things. Any positive energy, if you're inspired by it, then you're inspired to create more of it. It's almost becomes addicting a little bit to like when you
the thing I was gonna say is and Greg kind of got on started saying this earlier, and I completely get it because I've been there for real life shows and tours, and I know you did that when you were touring, Renee. But he's like, everyone thinks you just play from 7 to 8:30. No, he's a booking agent, and he's dealing with people trying to coordinate times and stuff. And last minute, someone cancels, and there's a lot involved to it, a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. But the great thing is when you're consistent and you do a good product and a good show every week, what happens is like what he said earlier, the ship starts running itself and everyone's impressed with it. And they're calling him saying, can I be on your show?
Oh, yeah.
And that is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shuffling lineups is always a challenge, but it's so funny too. It's like we've had a couple of problems, but it seems like, like behind the scenes, like, me and Julio will be talking and be like, wow, that happened quick. Like we solved that problem pretty quick. Like,
right.
it's like one of those things where we're just like, all right, like we were like freaked out at first, like, oh my god, this person canceled, and then we're like, and then we'll but then we got Renée to fill in, so it was like, oh, okay, it was kind of like it was like a win-win there almost, you know.
It's like playing whack-a-mole sometimes. You got one thing going on over here.
Absolutely right, and then you realize, wait a minute, like I was nervous, and wait, it worked out, and I'm not saying it's better, but it worked. Things happen for reasons, you know.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, I shot a video a few weeks ago for a song I'm doing, you know, and like 5 minutes before we went to go shoot it, our bass player, you know, we found out he had COVID, and he was like, listen, I don't feel good. I don't feel bad. I feel in the middle. I probably could go there and wear a mask and jump around and do this, but that would be irresponsible. So I'm not going to do that. And I completely understand that. But I also know that, you know, we can't reschedule this, you know. So we had to rethink things, you know. And I was like, listen, let's do the video this way. And not everyone planned. Let's dance and let's choreograph it. And I don't even want this thing plugged in, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that, you know. And we went back and watched it, and it turned into this art piece. And I'm like, you want to know something? I'm glad, you know, our boy is okay and everything. But if he would have came, we literally would have shot the video just like this. We look like the Beatles and Ed Sullivan. You know, things happen for reasons. You know, next thing you know, we're all doing somersaults around each other.
I love the term "happy accident." You know,
it's beautiful.
and it happens like in life, and also like if you'll be playing a song, even you'll be in the middle of a song, and you're just like, "That's not the chord, but that sounded really fucking cool."
Oh, I love when the songs accidentally write themselves. Those are the best songs ever. So Renée, we need to figure out a way, because you and I, we have these think tank sessions. Sometimes it's just us thinking and then texting each other, you know. But we need to find a way to take the Drunkles, you know, do a couple of real shows on a stage, like a variety show on a stage. Me and Butzer could help you MC it, and we could tell really bad dad jokes and stuff in between acts and stuff.
Yes,
you know?
we gotta do it. We gotta do it.
We need to figure out. I don't know who can help you with that. We're putting it out there into the universe right now.
That's awesome. But yeah, obviously I make absolutely zero decisions without my partner in crime, Julio.
Oh, well, listen, we totally, and again, biggest shout out to Julio, who is such a star and one of my favorite songwriters and just humans. Renée, what else you got to tell us? I know you have so much stuff going on that you can't tell us, but I'm just so stoked that you're on the show. And next week, I expect you to be on the show for a few minutes with me and Rory as well.
Oh, I got to do that. Yeah, Rory's my partner in crime too.
He's the best. Happy birthday, Rory.
My birthday last year, he was on, and y'all were drinking, and it was the best birthday ever. You guys were talking about me, and I was just like watching it over and over again. Yeah, we got a lot going on, of course, on Cosmos. Tardon Media, go to tardonmedia.com. You can watch all the Orchid Time stuff is up there.
Oh my goodness, those young women are superheroes. Amazing.
They are workhorses. Wednesday, 7 p.m. Just tune in. That's when they go live. We just recorded. They do pre-recorded stuff. We recorded this before Burn It Down. We're going to show parts of it on Wednesday. They're absolutely amazing. But everybody on Cosmos, everyone on Tardon Media, and then everything at SDF and everything at KMH, it's just like if you're interested in something, there's something for you in this community.
Without a doubt. That's a really good point.
There's so much going on, you know?
It's casual. That's back on Tuesdays from...
Yes, it's back on Tuesday, 6 p.m. now instead of 7, but it's at 6 p.m. And then how it's...
I do the best to do my Taco Tuesday around it. So
and I just I mentioned earlier, but I'll say it again. Congratulations to our sisters, Jamie Bennett and Diane Call, for a wonderful show of The Warrior Within last night. If you guys haven't caught it, please do. It's important stuff that we go through in these important times. Man, I just want to say I love you guys so much. Rory's going to be proud. I went overtime.
Yes, Rory, we did you, Rory. We did it for you.
Rory, I'll be texting you afterwards. I saw you sent me a message right before I went on stage, but man, I had to do my hair. I was trying to look cool. You know what I'm saying? Listen, love is all around, and life can be awesome if you let it. And if anyone's down, reach out, man. We got a bunch of great organizations that we're partners with, you know? Shout out to SDF, CCTV, KMH, and you know, some family we have that we're born with that aren't that cool, and some family we meet and we luck out and we get to choose them. And we're doing all right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we're doing good.
definitely.
We're blessed.
I love everybody here, and I love everybody here. And oh, no icing is on Thursdays.
Sandy D, I love you.
Yeah,
I think
Sandy,
I'm on. I think I'm on it, Sandy, with her Sandy on Thursday. Let me check. I'm pretty sure. Man, listen. This show rules. And you all rule. You guys rule. Gregory, thank you so much. Appreciate you, my brother.
It was an honor to be here.
Let's talk more. Let's make that a goal. And
Absolutely.
everyone for tuning in, man. We're all in this together in any kind of weather. We'll see you next week.
Love you guys. Burn it down, everybody.